Hello, legends of the internet. I'm Starfish5 Legend, and I'm just chilling over here at the Respawn Arena. But we have some important info to get to. Follow me. A couple months back, I released a game called Respawn, built on the Crystal Point Guild server. Respawn is a deck-building trading card game built completely in survival Minecraft. In the corner iCard is a pinned video of how to play the game and what it is all about. Now, we have had a lot of fun playing the game, and it was one of the biggest projects I have ever done. I am just so happy with how it has turned out. Over the many months of playing it, I have updated the arena, made changes, made new cards, and the journey has just been fantastic. So today, I would like to take the next step in the Respawn journey, and I would like to officially announce Respawn Desert Dunes. This is going to be a big new project that I'm going to start working on right now. This project will last several months and will include a brand new arena, new cards, but still the same base game we have grown to love, with a bit of a twist. Now, previously, I didn't record the journey of making the first version of the game, and I regret that quite a lot. I would love to have been able to look back on the early thought processes and see the game come to life. However, I cannot change the past, but I can start now. And so that's what we're doing. I would like to take you all on this journey while we make this game together. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the making of Respawn Desert Dunes. Welcome to the Season 2 Crystal Point Guild Entertainment District. Now, we are in creative mode on the creative test server, and we are going to be here most of the time during this project. I don't fancy doing a lot of survival redstone, especially as complex as this game of Respawn will be. And so we will design and build most of all of it here in creative before then porting it over to the survivor world, where we will then finish it off. Now, here is where we're gonna start our journey on. This is where we're gonna build the actual thing. And yes, I know, desert dunes, desert. Yeah, this doesn't look like a desert, does it? Well, no, it doesn't. But that's okay. We're gonna have a custom built desert kind of in and around here. Plus, most all of the game itself is gonna be underground, so we don't really need to worry about the terrain as it is currently. But as big of a project as this is, we need a solid plan of action, or else this isn't gonna go smoothly. So I think let me draw up a bit of a board here, a to-do list if you will, and let's get going on exactly what steps we're gonna take to make this dream a reality. We have the starting resemblance of a to-do list here now. It is definitely not finished, and we will be adding a lot more to it as we go throughout this project. But a good place to start is here. So as you can see, Respawn Desert Dunes to-do list. And to begin with, we will need to design the arena, because funny thing, if we want to put any redstone or whatnot in the arena, we have to actually have the said arena. To do that, we're gonna need a block palette and whatnot to then fully build the arena. Then we have the redstone, the thing that is actually gonna make this game function rather than just being a big pretty build. And so we'll need to do a bunch of redstone for like the core game, the on and off switches, respawn mechanics, loot mechanics, voyage mechanics, kill mechanics, and then the hazard that ticks up as players score points. Once we have all that working, we can also then move on to the actual cards that play throughout the game. And to do that, we will need to, well, design a bunch of the cards, then have custom textures for all the cards. Then we will need to figure out different anchor cards to use as well, a card reader to then read said cards, and program each card to do what it needs to do. So as you can see, my to-do list is pretty darn full, but I am so excited. In fact, I'm too excited. I can't wait any longer. Let's just jump right into it. I think we're gonna throw together a blog palette here and then get working on the little bit of a template, or the footprint that is, of the arena itself. Let's just go right out, let's go. So when we're looking at a palette, let's come back to the original arena here and take a little bit of a gander of what we're going to need. First off, if you've noticed, there's two separate, very distinct sides. Both the Crimson, which is the red, and then the Warped, which is the cyan/blue. And then in each of those sides, there's several different blocks that match that theming. And so you might have already guessed it with the little logo there, but instead of Crimson and Warped, we're going to be using the two different sand colors, both red sand, which is this beautiful orange color, and then regular sand, which is a very nice kind of a bright tannish beige yellow. But they both very much stand apart and have their own unique differences. As far as palettes go, I think what we have here is a very nice start. We have several different blocks that can be mirrored over to the other side. That works very well, especially the different planks and woods. That gives us access to all the manner of fences and trapdoors. We have walls from all the sandstone and whatnot. We also are going to be using some copper. I know this one doesn't match this side as well as this one matches that side, but it still is better than nothing. And I can't say no to the copper. It's too pretty. But now that we have a rough idea of kind of what the palette is gonna look like, let's get a big layout of a topical view of what the arena might look like. So I've laid out a big square here in the sky. This isn't going to be the final resting point for this arena by any sense, but it allows us just to kind of give a feel for where everything is going to be laid out in the future. With the original arena, it was much more of an oblong kind of sphere, eclipse if you will, and so this time I want to make the arena a bit more square shape. And I think eventually we might put a giant pyramid over the entire arena or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Plans are still brewing inside the head of mine. But this allows us to now place down a bunch of different landmarks and waypoints, if you will, of places we want to put stuff. And this is actually the exact same thing I did for the original arena. I laid out a big kind of map, and then now we're gonna place stuff and kind of evenly spread it across so nowhere in the map is completely empty. And a really nice thing about this too is because the game is a mirror on each side, we only actually need to really do one side of the arena and then just mirror it over the other side. That includes all the redstone and everything as well. I've laid out these copper stuff to indicate maybe where a spawn point could be for each side as well. Previously, the spawn point was at the very edge of the arena. I kind of want to put it more in the middle of the side there, just to change it up a bit, and think it could be quite interesting to have multiple outlets from where you spawn in to kind of choose your adventure, if you will, and hazard blocking up different spots to make it more difficult to enter and whatnot. I've also gone out and laid a bit of these here. These are little voyage markers, if you will, spots where potential compasses could be dropped off, and I've kind of just spaced them out evenly. They are completely mirrored each side to make it fair, obviously, and none of this is set in stone, but it does give a good layout here. I think next up I'm going to start working on some walls. I did put a little bit of loot in the middle there, and I do want to bring that over from the original game, where the middle is kind of a hot commodity, to just encourage people to go through the middle more, as there is a bit of a problem, especially because this arena is a bit bigger than the previous one. It might be very difficult for the kill objective to find your opponent in such a big arena. And so I do want to make different parts of the arena better and more rewarding to visit, to encourage more of that PvP as well. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to make it so there's a pathway on each side of the middle like there is in the other game. I think I might do something like that, but I want to change it up so it's not identical to the other game either. One thing that I'm trying to keep in mind as well as I'm doing this is the redstone, and kind of just a general idea of how big it is. Redstone takes up lots of space, and so I'm trying to keep things spaced out a bit and not compact them too much, which will hopefully help me down the line when I work on that step. And now you really start to get a bit of a picture of what we're going for here. A lot of the walls have been marked out. I have a lot of ideas here, and it's hard to express all of them with just a flat canvas that we're doing right now. So I definitely want to make a lot of these elevated up so I can furthermore show a little bit of what the arena will be, or what I hope the arena to be. But having large areas that are more open, I think will be pretty crucial for this bigger map, so that you are able to see your opponent off in the distance. I also have some other fun twists to add to the base game of Respawn to hopefully make it so the bigger map isn't an issue. But from what you see here, you can kind of see we're gonna have like some sort of mine shaft type ordeal off on either side there. I want this section to be a little more enclosed and not as open, and more like a mesa to a degree, with big kind of terracotta pillars and whatnot blocking a lot of vantage points, where over here is going to be like a big desert dunes, kind of just flat, mostly open area with a couple things here and there. Obviously it's not going to be just plain, but definitely a lot more open. I've already started to think of different hazards that could activate and trigger in different areas to prevent people from going different places easily. And oh man, this is just getting me so excited for what this project will entail in due time. Let's just continue to work on the elevation here. So good. With the elevation in, the picture is much clearer now of what the arena might eventually look like. So like I was saying, having a kind of winding canyon mesa like here, where we have these large cliffs and maybe even some sort of bridges in between some of them, having a bunch of elevation to play with, as the original game of Respawn didn't feature a whole lot of elevation. But being able to go through and see everything here and just get a feel for how it's all gonna work out together is very, very exciting. And this is what I like to tend to do with projects like this. I just kind of build with one solid color for this white wool, so I can just get the shape right first before I move on to actually detailing it with colors and block textures and all that good stuff. One thing you might notice though is we're still very, very flat on the x-axis here. We've got some of the y-axis going on. It's still kind of flat walls there, but the x-axis is almost primarily just this one layer here. And so next I want to go through and add in some elevation changes. Not too drastic in some areas, but especially like over here, these you can already see have some pretty drastic elevation changes. Maybe make it so you have to like wind up around the arena here, and then you can access the top or something like that. Not exactly sure yet, but we're working on it. And it's come along pretty nice. And if we zoom way out, you can really see the symmetry, which is very satisfying as well. Some of the floor elevation is now in place. We got a little bit of a shift up against the walls there, and a little more of these desert dunes that will eventually be here. I've also added a bit of an elevation difference in the winding little places here as well, just to add some variation in places that we can add in some fun hazards and whatnot. And so far it's coming along real nice, I think. I do want to add in some deep crevasses, if you will, like kind of cracks throughout the dunes here that will lead to more parkour challenges and whatnot. But that is for a future. As unfortunately, that is all I have time for in this episode of making Respawn Desert Dunes. Hopefully you enjoyed watching a bit of the process behind the scenes on the game of Respawn. I am very much looking forward to continuing this project here, and man, I cannot wait for it to be done. It's just gonna be so much fun. I will be posting weekly updates on this as I work throughout it in the week. I will then upload the video usually around the same time this video has been uploaded right here. So make sure to tune into the channel, subscribe if you haven't. I very much appreciate it as we build this game together. And if you have any ideas or thoughts that could improve the game or just be fun, make sure to post down in the comment section down there. Let me know. But other than that, this has been Starfish 5 Legend, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, time zone, whatever it is for you, and I'll see you next time.